I have a difficult task today to speak about healing, and actually it wasn't my topic. I would never choose healing for the Veda because there is no healing as such. Ayurveda, yes, it is healing, about healing, but then this challenge created some kind of question, what is really healing and what is to be healed in the Vedic sense. It seems that we are all not well here from the Vedic perspective. We are all on the way to be healed, to be taken out of darkness into the light. And as you remember in my presentation, there were two creations. One was of the eternal night, which we also represent, and the other was the plunge of the spirit into that night, which we also represent. So we carry within ourselves two different ways of existence. One is fully conscious being which is not in need of healing, and there is other being which needs to be healed. The healing is seen in the Veda as immortality. Immortality not of our soul, because it doesn't need that immortality, it is already immortal, but the immortality of the being which is mortal. It is a constant battle on the spiritual path. Abhisyama pritsutir martiyanam, says Rishi. May we withstand the oppression of the mortals. Just think about the phrase. May we withhold the pressure of the mortals. What is mortality? Mortality is our sick state of being. We are not yet healthy. That's why we are mortal. But this view is you can find only in the Veda. Ayurveda will not even subscribe for this. There was a shift of paradigm. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to... little less. Can you put little less? Yeah. Didn't have enough time to present this shift of paradigms. It would be very useful, because when we shift from one language to another, there's something happening. Yes? We can do it, but we always question in our mind, what did we really do now? Yeah. What has happened? We were rational and now we are mythological. Is it legal? Is it all right to be mythological when we are rational beings and have to be scientific and so on and so forth? That had to be clarified before I really could go into the material of Rig Veda. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, but I presume that we all, so to say, subscribe for this exercise. And maybe later, when I have time, more time, I will show you the shift of paradigms and why it is, in my view and Sri Aurobindo's view, is legal to, to incorporate different ways of thinking and being and seeing the world into one transparent way of being. It was always my question. I never could understand why rational beings sometimes become so irrational. They go to the church and they put, this incense stakes for my son, for my daughter, though they are scientists. Or they take this in the morning and they go to IIT somewhere. And so how come that these different paradigms coexist within one being? Yes? We like fairy tales and stories, and at the same time we are very rational. So it seems we address different needs of our being. There is a mental need of a mental structure, that's what we are rational about, and there is other need which is deeper in us. so to say, of the mythical structure of our soul, of our myth of the existence. We want to know about our origins. We want to know where we are coming from. And this rational mind cannot give you. It doesn't have the means, the tools, the knowledge. And then there is even deeper magic structure of the oneness of nature, and even deeper archaic structure which upholds everything in oneness. There is a book by John Gebser which is called The Ever-Present Origin, and he implies that this archaic structure of oneness of the outer and inner being is implied through all the structures. That's why they can really deviate, so to say, from it. But they represent it. It's ever-present structure of oneness of the inner and outer. And that would be, in our topic of healing, the ultimate healing. If the inner can be completely reflected in the outer, and the outer will be absolutely the same as inner, then there will be no question of healing anymore. But because of this difference between the inner being and the outer existence, between our soul, which is immortal and doesn't need any healing, and our bodies, physical, vital and mental bodies, which are here not fully conscious of what is happening. They are on the way to discover something. They are higher beings also. They are truer existence with the help of this involved soul. Then they are in need of constant healing. Does it make sense? Yes, swastika. Yeah, it's the easiest way to explain well-being, yes? Staying in oneself, being oneself. But what it implies, it depends what you are yourself, yes? Our idea of healing is very different from the Vedic, because we want to heal this imperfect being and to fix it to a certain extent, to exist or to function. We want to fix this animal man to live animal life in a healthy fashion. And from the Vedic point of view, it's impossible, because it is on the way. It's an evolutionary being, it's a transitional being which will always encounter struggle and change. And if you step on the spiritual path, then it is even worse than being normal. If you want to live animal life, so half animal, half human life, it is okay. One can be to a certain extent healthy and, so to say, in some period of time live a healthy life and die in his or her own way. But if you want to speed up the evolutionary process, then something happens and you open up to the forces which resist. And these forces create a real mess in your life, in your vital, mental and physical being. And we know this from Sri Aurobindo, and the Mother Sri Aurobindo says, I have 1001 wound within me. You do not know what I am going through, he says in the letters. His life was a battlefield, constant battle, with all these titanic forces, sons of darkness, and so on and so forth, who resist the change. What Mother went through, we cannot even discuss. If those few who were here at the end of her life, they know what she went through, what kind of battles. That's why Sri Aurobindo says, I would not recommend this path to anyone. It is too difficult. Only for those who are called upon, who feel the call and cannot live otherwise. So healing is a big question, whether we want to become... But then, Once you have this resistance of anti-divine forces, you have also divine forces to assist you and to heal you, to heal your 1001 wounds. They will be there for you. So you enlarge the scope, so to say. When you go down into the darkness, you also go high into the light. And the higher you go, the deeper you dive. And this is the dynamism of this integral yoga. It can't be that you go only into the light and stay there. It will not happen, because our purpose is different. Our purpose is to bring that light into the darkness and to heal the darkness.